Breaking news from Arsenal as well. James Green is there for us. James, good to see you tonight. Tell us more.
Yeah, we've been waiting all day for this one, Emma, as Arsenal have posted the final piece of the puzzle is through the building. It is confirmed.
Arsenal target Crystal Palace star Marc Guehi in £35 million summer move. Arsenal are reportedly setting their sights on Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi as Mikel Arteta looks to bolster his defensive options ahead of next season. The 24-year-old England international has emerged as one of the Premier League's most consistent centre-backs, and the Gunners are understood to be preparing a £35 million offer to secure his services. With Arsenal competing on multiple fronts and pushing for Premier League glory, the addition of a player of Guehi's calibre could provide the depth and quality needed to sustain a title challenge. Guehi has been a revelation since joining Crystal Palace from Chelsea in 2021, quickly establishing himself as a leader at Selhurst Park despite his relatively young age. His performances have not gone unnoticed, earning him recognition at international level with England and making him one of the most sought-after defenders in English football. The former Chelsea Academy product combines technical ability with tactical intelligence, qualities that align perfectly with Arsenal's possession-based style of play under Arteta. His composure on the ball and ability to progress play from defence would fit seamlessly into the Gunners' system. The reported £35 million valuation represents what many consider a reasonable price in today's inflated transfer market, especially for a homegrown player entering his prime years. Arsenal's recruitment team, led by sporting director Edu, has demonstrated shrewd business in recent windows, and they appear to view Guehi as a strategic investment who can contribute immediately while retaining significant resale value. Palace may be reluctant to lose their captain, but financial realities and the players' ambitions could force their hand if Arsenal formalise their interest with a concrete offer. Arteta's defensive options have served him well, with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes forming one of the league's most formidable partnerships. However, the rigours of competing in the Premier League, Champions League, and domestic cups demand quality depth, something Arsenal have occasionally lacked when injuries strike. Guehi would provide genuine competition for starting places rather than simply serving as backup, potentially rotating with the established pairing and allowing Arteta greater tactical flexibility. His versatility in playing both as a left or right-sided centre-back adds another dimension to his appeal. The England international's leadership qualities cannot be overstated, with Palace manager Roy Hodgson having entrusted him with the captain's armband despite his youth. This maturity and responsibility would be valuable assets in Arsenal's dressing room as they seek to end their two-decade wait for a Premier League title. Guehi's experience of handling pressure situations and organising defensive lines could prove particularly useful in the crucial moments that often decide championship races. His winning mentality, developed through England's youth setup and competitive Premier League football, mirrors the culture Arteta has worked to cultivate at the Emirates. From Crystal Palace's perspective, losing their captain would represent a significant blow to their ambitions, though the club has historically managed to reinvest transfer fees wisely. Guehi's departure would leave a considerable void in leadership and defensive quality, forcing Palace to enter the market for a replacement. However, the £35 million fee would provide substantial funds for recruitment, and Palace have demonstrated an ability to develop talent and remain competitive despite losing key players. The club's hierarchy will need to weigh the financial benefits against the sporting implications of selling to a Premier League rival. For Guehi personally, the move to Arsenal would represent a step up in his career trajectory, offering Champions League football and the opportunity to compete for major honours. Having left Chelsea without establishing himself in their first team, a successful stint at Arsenal would prove his credentials at the highest level. The defender has spoken previously about his ambitions to win trophies and cement his place in the England squad ahead of future international tournaments, objectives that would be more achievable at a club of Arsenal's stature. Working under Arteta, who has a reputation for improving defenders, could accelerate his development further. The timing of Arsenal's interest is strategic, coming at a point where the club is transitioning from challengers to genuine title contenders who expect to compete consistently for silverware. Arsenal's American owners, the Kroenke family, have demonstrated increased willingness to back Arteta in the transfer market after years of relatively modest spending. The potential Guehi signing would signal continued ambition and investment in the squad, sending a message to supporters and competitors alike that Arsenal are serious about returning to the summit of English football. Competition for Guehi's signature could emerge from other top clubs, with several Premier League sides likely monitoring his situation at Crystal Palace. Arsenal's appeal includes Champions League football, a clear project under an established manager, and the opportunity to play regular first-team football rather than simply warming the bench at a larger squad. The London location would also make any transition smoother for Guehi, who has established roots in the capital during his time at both Chelsea and Palace. These factors could give Arsenal an advantage in negotiation should multiple clubs enter the race. As the summer transfer window approaches, Arsenal's pursuit of Marc Guehi represents the type of smart, forward-thinking recruitment that has characterized their recent resurgence. Whether the £35 million proves sufficient to convince Crystal Palace to sell remains to be seen, but the defender's quality, age profile, and leadership credentials make him an ideal target for a club with Arsenal's ambitions. If completed, the deal would strengthen Arsenal's defensive options significantly and potentially provide the missing piece in their quest to reclaim the Premier League title after more than 2 decades of waiting.